Hey guys, welcome back. It's Meka from Yes Please Planning. Now I did the quick flip through of this traveler's notebook already, and for this video I'm going to go into more detail on what I did. So let's get started. I've never done it, I think, with this many little extras on here. So I consider this sort of playing dress up, getting the planner ready for taking pictures. But in order to actually use it, I would take most of these things off. This is not what I would consider functional for myself. Some of these dangle clips, like this one came from K&Co XOXO, and then I had this set of succulent charms from Hobby Lobby that I added on to some of the clips just to carry the summertime theme throughout. And as far as the clips up top, this was Planner Society last year from a kit that was very similar. Posh Pieces, K&Co XOXO. This pink one, I think it's the bubble gum. It is a beautiful match with this TN. Planner Society. This, I think it's Preppy Cat. I have to link it. I'm not exactly sure. These two. And then these were DIYs. This I just have some random pom-poms, so all I did was stuck some hot glue in there and held this clip down, covered it up, and there we go. For this one, I had some ribbon. If you do a YouTube search on how to make bow clips, you will find tons of tutorials on those. This one is from K&Co XO. She is the same one who made these. And if you check the description box, you will see, I think it's code Meka15 that gives you a discount for K&Co XOXO. This one is Dainty K Plans. And I had another one that kind of went with the theme. This is a flamingo one from Dainty K Plans, but the color was more orange instead of pink, so I didn't use this one. And then this pearl chain, I think it came from a charm set from Hobby Lobby. Let's just talk about what my process is for getting started. Like when I first get this kit and I first get a TN, what do I think about when I want to set it up? I think about what the colors are, what the recurring motifs are for the kit, and I will kind of, let me see here, I have it somewhere. I'll kind of sketch out and write out some ideas for what I think I want to do. So I'll put the inserts that I need, so I'll know how many inserts, how many dashboards to make, and I'll kind of just jot down some notes for the theme and then the overall design and feel for what I want. These are the papers that came with the kit, some of the papers anyway, and I fell in love with this one especially, and then this one. This black and white, I felt like it made a really good contrast against these, but there wasn't enough black and white in the kit, so I also pulled some black and white from another TPS kit that I had left over to kind of, I don't know, the black and white I feel like just makes it a little bit more fresh, makes the colors pop, and kind of lets your eye rest because, you know, there's a lot going on with most of the other patterns. So I settled on, for the most part, these, and then I think there was one more. Let me see. Was it? Yeah. This pattern was from that same kit from last year, that this flamingo. Anyway, so from there I started to make the actual just the base for each insert. So I'm going to take out all of these inserts and give you a better idea of what my process was. my favorite pattern from this whole thing was this one. It's the same pattern that's actually on the Traveler's Notebook itself. And I didn't want to use too much of it. One, because that's already the print on the TN, but also I wanted to try to save a full sheet of this pattern. So I only took parts of the paper and kind of spread it throughout some of the different inserts. So here I cut just about, a quarter of it, wrapped it around here, and then put some of the black and white from the other kit on there. And the inside, so this black and white, the inside was, matches the other kit. It doesn't match for this design, but I just got too lazy and I didn't feel like covering it. But had I spent more time on this one, I would have covered this with one of the other papers from the current kit, or like a white or a pink solid color. On this side is I took one of the product packaging backings. So like I took one of these, but one of the larger ones, and just trimmed it down and kind of stuck it in there that way. Another thing I did in order to try to make everything cohesive was to think about the accents that I wanted to use. So for this one, I opted for this border punch. It's from Fiskars. I believe I got it from Joann's during one of their 60% off punches sales. And I really like texture and I like to use ribbon and trim, but sometimes it's just too much. It's bulky, and it really just wasn't the feel that I wanted to go for this one. So I felt like using this really decorative border punch would kind of fulfill my need for that visual texture without adding the extra bulk. So you can see I used it here as kind of a double, and then I just edged some of the other papers, and I used it in different ways, but you can see how that helps everything tie in together. And I even used it here on some of the actual paper from the kit instead of my white paper. The thing about the white paper, if you're going to use some solid cardstock, I think it's a really good idea to use a textured cardstock. They're more expensive, but they pack a lot more punch to them. You see the difference? So this texture, again, without adding the bulk, it really just gives it more visual texture. So let me show you how this punch works. So I always start, and it's kind of tricky using it at first, but I guess you get the hang of it. I always start at the edge here, upside down, and you have to press down really hard. So once I get it started, then I just use the guide that's here and overlap it. You just make sure this is lined up. Normally I'm able to get it all the way through without having to rip it like I just did, but sometimes that happens if I'm not, I guess, too careful. But this is basically what you get. So you could trim here and just have a straight edge there, or you can cut like a rectangle and then cut on two sides, and so, or punch on both sides, and so you can end up with something like this. You can also, to achieve this same look, you could take two pieces that are like this and just lay them side by side, and that way you won't have to worry about figuring out how wide you want it to be. And then from there, you can layer that and put a strip of paper, ribbon, or whatever in between. So you could do something like that. I had a couple of different ribbons in my stash to choose from, and I just went with this organza one. I think it's called organza. I just like this softer effect for this project. And so you can see how on this one I have the double punch, I have the organza ribbon here, and then layered on top of that some of the same black and white. And now we have something that looks pretty cohesive. This planner girl, it was a plain natural wood words from a previous Planner Society kit, and I just painted it with black paint. I actually tried using a black marker. It was a Tombow marker. It was a really bad idea because the marker, it didn't stay. But I've also seen people use glitter on these or embossing powder. That would make a really nice effect. Glossy accents would make it nice and shiny. Let's talk about focal points. The thing about a focal point for me is you want to look at whatever you're putting on your insert and think about what's the main thing you want to stand out. And I kind of think of that as a superstar. So your superstar for the whole show is that one thing that you really want to pop. And if you have several different things kind of all over the place randomly, then it doesn't give that one thing the chance to really shine and be the superstar that it is. So this is my superstar focal point here, and then my backups, my extras are the other things here that don't stand out quite as much but still help the design flow. You can see I kind of have co-stars here. I would say Planner Girl is my main superstar, but then this floral cluster here is kind of a co-star because it is pretty big. Here I've got this cluster here. My flamingo is my superstar, and then this, I actually cut this design out, this little floral piece out of one of the papers. Cut it out, and then I made it, instead of gluing it all the way down, I just left the top part unglued and then made that into a little quick pocket. So there's this laser cut pocket that was included in the kit, and what I did, I just took washi and went straight over. I'm just going to show you how I did the rounded part. The rest is pretty self-explanatory. Use this one. Get kind of close to the very tip, and then try not to press it down, and then you're just going to cut to where, and you can kind of feel where the pocket ends or begins. And the thinner your strips are, it's kind of like fringe, the thinner it is, the more smooth it'll be when you actually tuck it in. And then from there, you just add more layers and contrast from sort of lighter, darker, lighter, darker. And that is that. Super simple. Several people asked about this pouch. So this came with the kit, but it did not come with holes. And so all I did was literally, really tackily, is that a word? Tackified? Yeah, I just poked some holes through each corner and then threaded some elastic that I had. Okay, this was the one that I used from a previous month to practice. So here I put the holes. I didn't put it all the way on the, you can see this. I didn't go all the way to the edge, but for this one I did, and I think it just worked better going all the way to the edge. I will say with a lot of use, you can see like it's pretty ragged, so with a lot of use it would probably tear. So I don't know if like some sort of tape or something inside might be good to reinforce it, but I just wasn't going to worry about it. So what I did, I took 2 lengths of the string and then a little bit more, which I would use to tie it, and then somehow or another I managed to get it through here. So as you can see, that's a pretty fussy process, or at least the way that I did it was, but you know, whatever, it works in the end. And then I just tied. I didn't try not to do it too tight. Tied a knot. And then in order to actually put it in here, I just looped it around one of the other inserts. So say this is my insert, and then that's it. Just loop it around, and now we have a little pouch insert. I'm pretty sure I did not come up with this. I'm pretty sure I've seen it many times before on other people's videos, so do not give me credit for this. Okay, now for this pocket. It's an actual dashboard, or you know, insert cover. It has a full back, and then this pocket makes a full front. The way that it's made, let me just go ahead and take everything out. So for a B6 cover, you pretty much need a full 8.5 by 11 or larger piece of paper. But when your design is vertically oriented like this one is, you can't just wrap it around and have a full cover. So you have to add some extra over here. And so somehow or another, instead of adding extra, it came to me to make this pocket. So I started out with this. And what you see for this sort of portion is this pink flamingo design, and there it is. So this right here is 8.5 inches, okay, and then that's 7 inches or however high your B6 is. So that makes the front of the pocket. And this is it's the same paper, it's just the back side, it's double-sided. Okay, now for the back side, you still need the front of your insert to be covered. And so since this is only a portion of a paper, you need something full to cover it completely. Then to close the pocket, you need this extra flap here. So again, in another video, I'm going to really walk through it step by step, but I have some pieces cut out to show you. So here's the back of the insert and the front of the pocket. Now this makes the front of the insert and the back of the pocket. And here's the flap that goes over like this. I folded this here just to make it more sturdy. These little tabs are not necessary. You could just kind of glue it without tabs and glue that as the pocket like that. but if you have tabs on there, it kind of gives it makes it more like a gusset, and you can fit a wider piece of paper or stickers or whatever in there. So it's this is 8.5 inches. This is, let's see, about 8.5, 9, about 10 inches. I know some of you will be able to grasp what I did here with just that little bit. If you need more detail, don't worry. I will do a complete video walking through step by step. The last little bit I want to show you is how to make these little page flag clips. Since we already had a set of page flags in this kit, it was super easy to get started with this. So they're not double-sided, of course, so I went ahead and took 2 of each design and just glued them back to back, and that just makes it more sturdy. Then, so for this I used 2 different designs, and then here I used 2 designs but 3 flags. Take a clip, any clip you want, and you kind of have to decide whether you want your clip to go into the page like on the left side or on the right side, and that will help you, that'll dictate where you put where you insert your flags. I use washi tape to adhere the back. Go a little more, or you can just go ahead and glue it in there. I would say don't go too far out, because that's it'll make it stick out when it's actually on your page. So have them a bit close together. They can overlap like that down the bottom. Then stick them through, and then fold over. Now you can glue that, hold it still for a while and let it glue and set, and you can put some kind of, trim or sticker or whatever to make it kind of reversible, or you can just slap some washi on it to hold it in place, and no one will ever know. That's what I've done here. So this one, I would say I would want 3 here. 3 of these flags here, just because this clip is longer, but however you want to do it is up to you. So you put 2 in the back, 1 in the middle and front. You can make it straight like this, so that it's, the sides are parallel, or you can kind of fan them out a little bit, the way that the ones that I've already done are. Glue or tape the back, and then just decorate the front with whatever you want. So I've used these little doilies. These mini doilies are from Amy Tangerine. It was a pack that I got maybe a year ago. I'll try to find a link for them because I think they're super adorable. It's something that I kind of thought of while I was playing around with these. If you have extra tabs, which I know a lot of us do, you could use it, since it already kind of has that fold there. You can use that and just insert it through. So that can be like a topper, then attach it, adhere it to, a bookmark or a rectangle or scrap paper or something. You could put your shopping list here. You can make it your weekly goals, and then move it around day by day. And then same with anything else, just put some pizzazz on it to decorate it however you want. So that's it, friends. Thank you so much for watching. I am going to go and put all of my stuff back inside my TN now. I appreciate you sharing your time with me, and as always, make sure you come and say hi on Instagram at Yes Please Planning. Bye bye.